Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. After Nandigram and Singur, is the image of the left-front government and the CPM in West Bengal badly damaged? That's the key question I shall put today in an exclusive interview to the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Buddhadeb Bhattacharjee. Chief Minister, let me start with a simple question. Is the image of your government and the image of your party damaged?
Well, I don't think so.
Don't think so?
Yes.
You mean it may be damaged?
No, it will take some time to clear the confusion that has been created after these incidents in Singur and Nandigram.
You're saying to me that confusion has been created, not that your government has mishandled the situation?
No, I don't think so. Because Singur is something different and Nandigram, we did commit some mistakes there.
How serious were the mistakes in Nandigram?
Nandigram mistake was that we have to take the people into confidence.
And you failed to do that?
Yes. Local administration unnecessarily started some administrative measures which was not correct.
You're talking of the Haldia Development Authority issuing land acquisition notices. Do you accept at the end of the day that the responsibility as Chief Minister...
On the first day, when I came to know that they have started this thing without discussing with the villagers, with the panchayat functionaries, with all section of the people at Nandigram, I told them stop work and I have stopped it.
Tell me something. How serious a blunder was Nandigram? You've said it's a blunder, but how serious?
I think it should have taken place, particularly in our state, and particularly if you compare with just other side of the river is Haldia.
Has Nandigram damaged your government?
I don't think so.
Not at all?
Not at all.
You've been accused of violating human rights by friends of yours like Jean Dresse, Rajinder Sachar, Kavita Srivastav, Romila Thapar, Sumit Sarkar, and you're saying you're not damaged?
No, I don't think so.
You mean these people don't know what they're talking about?
I have great regard for these people, but I tell you, the opposition is coming from different corners. BJP is opposing, Congress Trinamool is opposing, some left intellectual...
This is not Congress, these are your friends, these are your allies.
I know. Therefore, I am particularly eager to persuade these people, these gentlemen, these intellectuals, to understand what is the policy of the government.
All right, let me give you a chance to do that. I'm talking, in fact, of the Citizens Committee of leading left-wing intellectuals headed by Professor Sumit Sarkar. They visited your state, they visited Singur, they visited Nandigram, and they've come up with a stinging indictment of the way your government has handled both. Let's concentrate first on Singur.
Yes.
On Singur, the points they make suggest that you and your government are wrong on all the important issues. To begin with, you claim Singur is monocrop. They say it grows 4 or 5 crops a year, and in addition they allege that you have based your assessment on outdated land surveys from the early 1970s. They say you don't really know the nature of the land in Singur.
Please allow me to give you a little background of this Singur problem. Why Singur? Tatas, they decided to set up their factory in Uttaranchal. For obvious reason, you know, they get so much incentives. Some states are privileged states, apart from northeastern states and Kashmir.
So Singur was a bribe to the Tatas to come to Bengal instead?
Please, they wanted to set up this factory in Uttaranchal. And I was desperately trying to persuade Ratan Tata to come to our state, because automobiles is a very important manufacturing sector. And finally, I could convince Ratan Tata. Then they came here. First, we decided to set up this factory at Kharagpur. Kharagpur, because the land is not that fertile.
And they rejected it?
No. They moved around the state. You know, they went to Kharagpur, they went to other places. But finally, they said this is a flagship project, and they want it somewhere near the city, Kolkata.
So they chose Singur?
They went to Singur.
So you therefore decided to give them fertile land, knowing that it was the only way they would come to Calcutta?
No, I'm coming. Then what you are saying that about the nature of the character of the land. Maybe our report is not up to date.
You concede that? You concede that?
Yes. But I tell you, the major portion of the land is monocrop.
How do you know that? If your report is not up to date, how can you say the major portion is monocrop?
How can they know that?
Because they visited it.
How can one person...
They've spoken to the farmers.
I have spoken that I know these farmers better than them particularly. And my colleagues there, working there, my party, my farmers peasant organization, They know better than these people.
All right. Let me come to the second point they make.
First thing, our report is maybe not 100% correct. Maybe in some portion of land, they produce 2 or 3 crops in a year. But the major thing, we should not miss the wood for the trees.
And what is the trees?
Trees is this land, that land. Major thing is that a automobile factory is coming up. What is the value? Please. What is the value of the agricultural production?
Let's take that one at a time.
How many landers they create?
Absolutely. Let's take that one at a time. You've disputed their claim that this is multi-crop land. You insist it's monocrop, although you've added that maybe some of your records are not up to date.
Yes.
Let me come to the second point they make. The second point they make is that, in fact, the compensation you're giving is inadequate because you have not taken into consideration the fact that the value of the land will exponentially increase once the Tatas take it over and its land use changes.
Yes.
You accept that?
Yes, everywhere it happens, but when we decided to give them 9 lakhs rupees for monocrop land, 9 lakhs for 1 acre land, and 12 acre for multi-crop land.
But the committee is saying this is inadequate because you're not bearing in mind that the value of the land will increase exponentially once the Tatas take it over. You're denying the farmers the value that will then materialize. You're giving them a much lower one instead.
Whenever a factory come up, everywhere it happens.
So you're saying this is bad luck for them?
No. We don't calculate the value of the land, what it will be after 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Except for the fact that the farmer does.
There is a clear procedure for the collector. What is the market value of the land at this moment?
Okay.
When we acquire the land, what is the market value at this moment, not what it will be after 10 years.
All right, that's your answer, but others may dispute it.
But you should try to understand that you should not, again repeating, there may be some problems in regard to local administration, about the character of the land.
Let me then...
But when finally 997 acre land, what they produce, rice, potatoes, what is the value?
One step at a time,
What is the value?
One step at a time. The third problem they bring up is that, in fact, a very large percentage of sharecroppers and practically all the agricultural laborers in Singur are outside the compensation package you are giving.
No.
You simply haven't covered them.
No. The first time in the country.
You can't say no. Even Brinda Karat, writing in the Hindu on the 13th of December, concedes that 38% of sharecroppers in Singur do not stand immediately to get compensation.
Let me explain you. There are 2 types of sharecroppers.
Registered and unregistered.
Recorded and non-recorded, yes.
But the unrecorded you are ignoring.
But the present law, present act, that does not permit that to give them land.
So bad luck for the unrecorded because the law doesn't permit them to be compensated.
No, you cannot. You can give the recorded Borgadas because there is a legal validity. They have the papers. But how can you know who is the unrecorded Borgada?
Why can't you check?
We have checked it and we have listed all names of, we have completed a full list of non-recorded Borgadas and agricultural workers.
Shumit Sarkar says that thousands of unrecorded sharecroppers are being ignored.
Our list is 1,800 and now they are not in the list. Now they are working in the...
Will they or will they not get compensation?
They are now working in the field.
But will they get compensation?
Of course, they are getting compensation. They are getting a job and getting minimum wage every day.
Okay.
What they are supposed to get during harvesting, they are now getting more than that. And 1,800 people are working in the field.
Chief Minister, once again I have to point out that there is a major difference between what you're saying and what your own critics, your own allies in the Citizens Committee say. Let me point out another issue, perhaps the most critical of the lot.
What Citizens?
Shumit Sarkar's committee. He says that thousands of sharecroppers and agricultural laborers are being ignored for compensation. You're denying that.
I invite him to come to Singur after 1 year.
After 1 year?
And he will, I believe...
the compensation should be given today, not a year later.
Compensation they are already getting.
Let me move to another issue.
Landowners have received...
You say they are getting compensation. Let me move to perhaps the most critical issue of compensation. The question really is, what percentage of people in Singur have rejected your compensation package? You say only 4 or 5%. Yes. The Citizens Committee says that the owners of 360 acres, which is 36%, have rejected the compensation.
They are all the papers that was they sent to governor. I don't know this so-called Citizens Committee's paper. The opposition leader sent a paper to the governor.
Mamta Banerjee, and
yes,
she was alleging 464 acres had refused compensation, which is even more.
We have checked it, and I stick to my position. Out of 997, we have received.
Here are the affidavits that Mamta Banerjee has given the governor. And on each of these affidavits, it says that in spite of my said property has been encircled by a wall and by a wooden pole. These are people who rejected compensation, and yet they're encircled and they're compounded.
I have gone through all these papers. Our departments, our lawyers have gone through all these papers. I tell you, I stick to my position that the out of 997, 960 acre of land was voluntarily handed over by the farmers.
Then answer one question.
Consent letters.
If it's been done voluntarily, why do you keep imposing Section 144? If 95% are with you, why are you imposing Section 144 in Singur? What are you worried about?
Because the Naxalites, a small group of Naxalites led by some NGOs, they are moving in that area.
But they can only have influence because the majority of people in Singur are against your compensation, not because the majority are with you.
Overwhelming of majority of the people support our party, our peasant organization, and they support this factory should come up.
Chief Minister, that is political rhetoric. That is political rhetoric.
144 only for the Naxalites.
But
and will not
why do the Naxalites have so much influence if the majority of people are with you?
You see, I can tell you, you please come with me in Singur. There are 100, they can mobilize at best 100 or 150, maximum 200.
Chief Minister,
1,000.
Let me put a simple point to you. On Friday, Calcutta High Court has questioned the manner in which you are acquiring land. They are suggesting in an observation made by the High Court judge that the manner may have been without consensus. They are questioning the legality. You know this. If the court itself is making observations about lack of consensus and legality...
I don't want to comment on what court has said. I know it. There was some technical mistake in our order. But I tell you...
You accept that? A technical mistake?
A technical mistake was that.
How do you know it's not more serious?
No, nothing. There's nothing serious.
The court is questioning whether you have consensus.
I have withdrawn 144 because last meeting, I attended a meeting. More than 1 lakh people attended that meeting.
Okay.
And the Mamta Banerjee Trinamool meeting was not more than 4,000. I say, you try to understand, I just don't allow these Naxalites, small groups of Naxalites creating problem at midnight at 2:30, 3:30.
So it's only the Naxalites?
Only the small groups of Naxalites.
You're saying to me that the majority, 95% of Singur are with you?
99% people are with us.
99%?
Yes.
All right, let's take a break at that point. Let's come back and then ask you the critical question that everyone in India wants to know. If 99% are with you and it's only a minority that's criticizing you, will you continue with land acquisition, or are you now in this strange position of wanting to change your mind but not admit it? We'll be back in a moment's time after the break. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate and an exclusive interview with the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Buddhadeb Bhattacharjee. Chief Minister, given the depth of opposition that you face, will you roll back Singur?
Not possible. For the interest of the state, if I roll back, in this case, I will never able to raise my head again. And that will send a very wrong message all over the world, all over the country. I cannot afford to do that.
So no matter what left intellectuals, no matter what politicians or your allies say, Singur will go ahead.
Of course, go ahead. I'm sure that I'll be able to make them understand why Singur is necessary for the development of our state's
But you're
economy.
sending a message to the world. You're saying no matter what the opposition, no matter what left-wing allies and friends of yours say, you are committed to Singur 100%.
Yes.
All right, let's now come to Nandigram. I believe the CPM State Committee has taken a decision to put Nandigram on hold. Is that correct?
Yes. We took a decision on the next day when that unfortunate incident happened there in Nandigram. State committee endorsed that decision because the local administration committed mistakes, no doubt, without taking into confidence the people, without talking to the villagers, panchayat functionaries. They started some administrative, the administrative steps. That is wrong. My position is now very clear. We have to tell them what is this chemical hub, how it will change the economy of Nandigram. Chemical hub means we have already signed an agreement with IOC.
Can I interrupt? what you're therefore saying is that you will explain to the people of Nandigram why you believe an SEZ is important. What if they do not accept?
If they do not accept, I will not to go to Nandigram. I will change the venue.
So in other words, the people of Nandigram will have the final word.
Of course.
And if the people of Nandigram say to you, we do not want the SEZ, you will relocate somewhere else.
Yes, because you need that chemical hub.
Okay, let me come back to the people of Nandigram. The biggest problem you face with land acquisition is the emotional attachment of farmers to their land. Yes. Sheikh Rafiq, a farmer in Nandigram, says, we want to remain farmers. We don't want industrialization and we don't want to lead an urban life. How do you answer people like him?
Yes, we know you have to look at the problem from the macro level, also from the micro level. Understand, the general trend of civilization all over the world is from agriculture to industry, from the villages to cities. You cannot stop it. And the Marxist, as Marxist, I believe we have to move from agriculture to industry.
But what happens to Sheikh Rafiq, who doesn't agree with you?
They will be able to understand. The next, these Rafiqs, their sons, they are now going to schools, they are going to colleges. After graduation, they will not go back to cultivation.
In other words, you're saying, let them experience the new life and they will want it forever.
Of course. What is happening all over the world, in every country.
Let me pause at that moment. People say that the way to tackle the problem is for you to give the farmers who are going to lose their land a stake in the development that is going to happen on their land. Yes. In other words, give them some sort of equity, give them some sort of royalty, give them an involvement in the future, not just the market value as it is today.
Exactly.
Can you do that?
Yes, we are trying to formulate this policy.
You're trying to do that?
Yes, we discussed this issue in our last Politburo meeting in Delhi, that we are going to put a proposal to the central government to amend the 1894 Act. It's an old act. And in that act, the price of the land, this rehabilitation package should be there. And so for
you're going to add to that, giving each dispossessed farmer a stake in the new development.
Exactly.
But pause a moment.
For example, in Singur, some few hundred boys are undergoing training.
Yeah, but training is different. Can you give them a stake in the property so that they also share in the improved value of the land when it changes to a factory? Can you do that?
In all cases, it will not be possible.
But in some cases?
In some cases, it is possible.
Can you get the Tatas, can you get the Salim group to agree? It's easy for you as a politician to say you'll do it.
A section, they will join in this factory as workers. A section will join in these ancillary units in Singur. Ancillary units, they're undergoing training. The women folk there.
I'm talking about even more than training and jobs. I'm saying, can you give them a stake in the development so that they have some sort of equity, so that they have an interest that goes to their sons and their grandchildren?
Not in these big projects. We have now various projects like Rubber Park, Foundry Park, other
It will happen
park.
there.
We are trying to go through this model, what you are saying now.
Will Mr. Tata accept this?
I don't think so.
Will Mr. Salim accept this?
We can discuss with Salim, and they have a project for SEZ, they have a project for township.
But Mr. Tata will not accept this?
I don't think so, because we have not discussed it.
Why don't you discuss it?
I think that it is not possible for the farmers to be shareholders in the Tata's factory.
Many people think that is the only way of sorting out the problem.
No, it's a wrong idea.
It's the wrong idea.
That cannot be only one model. That cannot be. They will be engaged in various activities. Some of them will be workers. But it is very difficult to, part of the shareholder of Tata's company, the small farmers, how can they join
All right, Chief Minister,
in the management?
That's your answer, although many would have wished you to have said something else. A pleasure talking to you
Thank
on
you.
Devil's Advocate.
Thank you.